Why don't we move on to an album I guess we're probably a little more excited for. Mulatto dropping Queen of the South.
Mm.
Um, interesting. We've been talking about Mulatto a little bit more recently. She was featured on the oh boy, let's see if I can recall what album we were talking about last week.
Wait,
What
what
was it?
was she on? I forgot.
She was featured on. Hold on, let me pull that up.
She was an XXL freshman in 2020 as
But
well.
the
One of
week
the more
before,
unexpected picks, which
it
stood
wasn't.
out to me.
It wasn't a Shoreline song, right? Who else did we talk about that week?
Amine, Shoreline,
I think it was Amine. Hold on.
but I think this is a well timed. This is the major label debut for Mulatto, who's been independent for several years, and this is her first release on RCA Records.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely not someone I expected to make XXL. Not that I hadn't seen the name, not that you hadn't been buzzed, but it didn't seem like not a lot of people were calling for her name, and yet here she is, and we have this well timed debut. So I was interested to really jump into this one, but yeah. Do you know what feature was it? Do you know?
It was on "Make 'Em Say" by with NLE Choppa.
Oh right, yes, of course. That was
Probably
good. That was one of the best songs on that.
Yeah, one of the highlights, and she was the reason that song really jumped out to me. And I thought Queen of the South really. I thought it was very her from what I could tell from that feature, but I don't know if anything necessarily made it stand apart from a lot of the other female rappers in that lane. And I'm saying female rappers specifically in this case because a lot of her lyrical content is specific to females. It's a lot about the female experience in sex and kind of how coming up, like gaining that notoriety over men and the game in that sense, so to speak. And I think when I think about people who are doing this sort of thing, Rico Nasty comes to mind as being someone that does this really well because there's a lot of, I feel like, nuance and a lot of like production that really stands out and catches me in thought and just like weirdness with Rico. But with this feels a bit more like a Cardi, Meg the Stallion like lane, but just not done to that level.
Yeah. To that point, Mulatto just had a cameo in the WAP video. Nice pull there.
Yeah.
Could have used more of her, less of Kylie, as we all know. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about the music bluntly. Like, this is a Atlanta trap rap album from an Atlanta artist, and it's all. I think she's pretty good on the mic, pretty competent rapper. It's pretty good at that stuff. But
definitely,
I think it's really obvious. You listen to In and Out on this, featuring City Girls. City Girls do this sound better. When Young Miami and JT come on that song, they just have a different kind of presence on the mic. Even for just a kind of a standard song from them, right? And I think Mulatto is solid, but she's just not on their level in terms of personality at this time. So I don't really, for me, having listened to a lot of her stuff, including her, her biggest hit is "Bitch from the South," the remix with Trina and Saweetie's on this project. That's a good track, but again, I think if this is if this is specifically what you're looking for, why wouldn't you listen to City Girls from 2 months ago? I think that should just pops more and stands out more, And then of course, as you mentioned, if you want to get weirder, you got Rico. If you want to kind of genre blend a little bit more, you got Doja, And if you want better bars, you got Cardi and Megan. So
right.
I think she's good, but like that's the thing about female MCs now. We can just have a strata, Right. Not everyone needs to be at the top,
Right.
This is not quite as weird and energetic as Flo Milli. That's okay. It's not bad. It's fine.
No, it's not bad at all. And there's actually, I think, a lot to like on here. And I think the Atlanta aspect of it comes out quite a bit. And I think when I think Atlanta, I always think of Outkast first. And I think there are some moments where you have like some Outkast light moments, like on the song Muwap, they like, or when it comes, or actually even in the first track, Youngest and Richest, I think there's the way that the chorus builds up, there's like these like trumpets or horns around it or something like that. It almost sounds a little James Bondy, but it feels like one of those like bring in the brass section type things you might get from an Atlanta rapper. I think when I look back at this, I think Richest Girl, youngest and richest, Muwap really stood out. Um, and I guess the track with Savage pull up, I liked. I think mostly because when Savage hops on a track, I almost always like it. So
Classic 21, man, just being
yeah,
good.
21, just so good. Yeah, and I think the final track, Bitch from the South, is probably another track that stood out. But overall, I found a lot of the stuff in between to kind of just blend together to me. A lot of the content was the same, and didn't find it super engaging. It sounds like you felt similar. Do you think Mulatto? I mean, this is only her first album, and she's an XXL freshman,
Yeah.
obviously an artist on the rise. Do you think there's anything that you take away that you wish she was doing differently, or maybe
Mm.
trying to do a little bit more of?
Yeah, to that point, she's only 21. This is the major label debut. And I think she's actually someone that people really plugged in have been paying attention to because she actually won that rap game show, TV show with Jermaine Dupri when she was 16. And Dupri actually offered her a record deal that she declined. She'd been independent this whole time until earlier this year. So definitely someone that has been rising. But
Yeah.
I think given the high standards we have for hip hop today, we would like that rise to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any like specific things I'd want to see differently. It's just, I mean, and this is totally acceptable lane to just make Atlanta rap. You know that
Right.
this is the most popular form of rap today. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that. You know, get that money. It's funny. She's actually come under fire for still doing some club appearances during the pandemic. And her response was, of course, that she's really young and is like supporting her family. So F off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I get that, but I'm more mad at the club promoters.
Right.
And
um,
also, I think when she made XXL, the whole thing about her name being mulatto came up, which is, of course, a pejorative term for mixed race people. Not the probably not the best name, just kind of distracting. And she refers to herself as Big Lotto anyway, so maybe that could be a name change down the line.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, but honestly, I think it's funny. My favorite quotable of hers is actually not on this because it's on the Bitch from the South original version, where she says, "Pop the trunks in that bitch running home, Derek Jeter," which is hilarious to me. Also, I want to shout out 42 Doug, who I thought had an awesome feature on Off Top. And Doug has just been on absolute heater since We Paid when Little Baby
Mm-hmm.
came out. So he's an exciting artist for me as well. But yeah, Mulatto, I think this is probably going to be an introduction point for a lot of people, apart
Mm-hmm.
from Bitch from the South. So it's a solid foundation. I want to see what's next.
For sure. I think the only thing I hope is moving forward, she's a little bit more personal. I think she definitely tells a little bit of her story on here. But I want to hear her take on, the criticism she's receiving around these club appearances, things like that. Take her. She obviously has a lot going on in her personal life. Is she supporting her family? Talk about that. Like, just grow in that lyrical sense.